I've got an unboxing and some calls today to tune up from a friend, Adam Kilburn. He actually grew up and learned to hunt with his dad, Guy, in the same area that I did off of San Pablo Bay, where he and his dad would hunt up on the Napa side of the bay. My dad and I would hunt out of Black Point, Petaluma. And I think Guy came out of that side too and may have hunted with my dad a few times. I never had the privilege of hunting with Adam. He's quite a bit younger than I am. But I did have the privilege of hunting with his dad one time in the 80s. I was at Sac State going to school and came down for opening day. My dad said, "Hey, Guy's got a spot for us just off the Napa River in the marsh there." And so we pushed our boats out, parked our cars, pushed our little boats, canoe. I think maybe that's what Guy was hunting out of at the time, not my dad's duck boat. And we set up and shot easy and quick limits. Had a good time calling that day. Very memorable. We had a good time. And Adam, many years later, and I have to ask him, maybe in the comments of this video he can add this, but he somehow at some point caught wind of the decommissioning of the naval yard at Mare Island near Vallejo, where he lives, or he lives near there in Benicia, I think now too. But he caught wind that they were decommissioning, and he found out that they had some big blocks of ironwood. And he let my dad know about it and said, "Hey, you may want to get your hands on this ironwood. It's probably really good stuff." Probably from decades previously. This probably was in the 90s, I would guess. Anyway, my dad still got these huge blocks there, courtesy of Adam's tip. And actually, we made a call for Orvis in the early 2000s, a commemorative call that we made out of that ironwood, and there's probably less than 100 of those calls around. My dad designed it. I made most of them. My dad probably made a few, the prototypes. But anyway, big shout out to Adam for turning us onto that wood. If you remember or know anything about ironwood, it was used in shipbuilding. So the Navy probably was using that for ball bearings for their ships. The wood is so hard, but it has a natural oil, so it was perfect for the inner workings of ships like that, which is pretty surprising. Of course, we were whittling it down to duck calls, which is pretty awesome. Open this up, see what we got. It's a big box. I'm assuming it's more than one. He emailed me and let me know that this was coming. And let's see what we got. He's got a stack of them. There's all kinds of reeds still. Look at all those reeds. So this is a banded new style 784W. It's a nice old call. Seen some wear, needs probably a refit. I can do that for him. What else we got in here? Man, we've got several of them. Here's another one. Oh, Goose call. Very nice. It's an old leather. Yeah, that reed's broken off that Goose call. That's awesome. It's a nice old call. So we'll get that working up for him. Tune that up. What else we got here? Looks like a whistle. This is an older whistle. It's nice, big, bulbous. I'm going to try that duck call. That's a goose call. Got him out calling one. Yep, easy tune up. 3 more in here, guys. 6 calls all told. Okay, so this is, it's got a 784W in this old Super Timber. Kind of a nice little call. I'm trying to see. This rosewood, very nice. Oh, another, this must have been a pair. Goose call pair to go with that other duck call there. Oh no, this one here. That's cool. So 2 goose calls, 2 duck calls, and then this beautiful little call too. And this is the 220B. Beautiful sounding call. So that's it. Let's get those tuned up. Okay. All right. So we oiled and cleaned these babies. Not much to do on this one, just to dry it off maybe. We'll run this baby down there. Make sure it's clean. It's a modified dentist tool just to make sure that's clean down there. But it sounds pretty good. It doesn't seem too obstructed. Okay, so this first one, you notice I just refinished it. I always love the bands, and they've been retouched up because they pop. I re-put a new O-ring on it. We're going to put this white reed in there. Hopefully that's going to sound like a gem. Cut for a 784W. Some different material my dad had that I'm kind of going through. Push that cork back, slide it over, see how that sounds. Awesome. Not even gonna change a thing. I did, before I started this, I cleaned off the surface and made sure there was no oil underneath. And there we are. That one's good. All right, I put an O-ring on. All I did was it was kind of stuck in there, so I actually took this little chisel and picked it up out of there. Not a big deal. I just didn't know how long that was going to take me. I didn't want to waste a bunch of tape, live to tape from my garage. All right, let's show you how you do all this stuff, because the cedar parts are a little confusing. His little reed is real dirty. I'm going to give that back to him, but I'm going to use one of the others he has because they look pretty good. He's got a bunch of reeds in here, and that one looks pretty clean. So what I'm going to do, so there's two parts to the cedar parts. Two parts to the cedar parts. So there's a little groove, a little mark my dad makes with like a, razor blade. And he just cuts it where this wedge comes down and sits on top of the reed. So that's the way that it's going to go together every time. I'm going to clean up this surface a little bit here and here just to clean it up with the file. So I'm just going to clean this up just a little bit just to clean it up. I'm going to point that down. I don't want to change it too much, but I want to just clean it up. And clean that up, and then take that and clean it up just so it's got a... There you go. Now, well, that's interesting. Something going on, so it must have had some degradation, but it should still be fine. You can see where there's like a little indentation that's come out of the cedar. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take... You got to be pretty dexterous. What happened to my little goose reed? Oh, here it is. So you're going to take that, and you'll see if you get these reeds, it'll have a little mark on the end. The scratch should be on one of these. It's on that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that on the center here. And depending on how far over, obviously if you run the reed farther this way, it's going to be deeper in tone. If you run the reed farther this way, it's going to be lighter in tone. You can see the instructions, but I look a little bit of like less than 1/4 of an inch over. I'm looking for, in this case, a honker sound. So you got to center it on the channel, which is a little bit of a challenge. And then you're going to put that wedge on there. You're going to line it up with that groove. You kind of hold that together, put it back together. Don't put it too far in, just enough to keep it tight. You're gonna put that back to, without bending the reed like I almost did. It's a little high pitch, but I'm going to leave it for him because he can change that if he wants it a little deeper. I'm actually going to probably do his other ones a little deeper anyhow. So we're going to leave that one kind of as that pitch. You can see how that goes back together. And we'll go from there. Now we got his old teak one. I'm going to do this one a little deeper. I'm going to clean this out. Just wipe off all the excess. So, all right, so this it's broke off, you can see there. So I'm just gonna clean these off. Clean that off, yeah, it's a little dirty, but it's fine. Still in good shape. Get the flat surface cleaned off. And then I'm gonna clean this little angled part too, so you just push down on that and just there we go. Clean that piece off. That piece off should be pretty good. Try to tune this a little deeper. Check that a little up farther. Slide that back in. Check how centered it is. It is. It should be deep. It should be a deep honker. Yeah, a little deeper. We'll give that to him as a honker. He'll have the other one as a lighter one. We'll go from there. And there we are. Okay, I just reseated that. What's interesting, just reseating it, cleared everything up. Yep, sounds good to me. I'll call some ducks in with that. Okay, last one. So this is a new style Super Timber. He had this 784 reed in it, which, by the way, just so you know, the 784W reed will work. Well, the Super Standard takes the 784W reed, but the stopper's the same. So the actual 784W will work in this call. He may prefer it. I'll leave that reed for him, but I'm going to tune it with a what it's designed for, which is an 884W, which he has some of those. It may just be he was. So I've dried that off. Just going to clean it off, and I'm going to pop that in there. And if he wants to put that 784 back in, he can, because, you know, who knows what kind of mallards he's calling off the Napa River there. It might be some certain strain that likes that 784W. So, yeah, I can call those Napa mallards with that. I'm sure he can too. All right, that's it.